Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. First, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Dinda Pitri. So today, I am as the speaker and also as the moderator for this conference today. And I'm going to talk about the teaching learning process while the pandemic era in 2020, which is the pandemic that we are fight right now, COVID-19. So our discussion today is about the method, the process, how the learning teaching in our education right now, and how it happens in our education now. And then the second one is about advantages, about the learning and the last one is the advantages. And before we go to our material, I would like to talk about first, and I feel so sorry and I felt so bad that this pandemic get us into a sad situation, which we have lost a lot of friends, family that get impacted by the COVID-19. I got this information from the Cominfo that I found on Instagram that from the August to November, we have increasing of the suspect that that who impact by the COVID-19, which is from the August, there are 34 people who getting suspect by the COVID. And in September, it increasing more higher. This in the number of 176, and in the October, it getting less a bit, which is 90 people. And the last one is November, which is increasing so high, which is 212 people that getting suspect by the COVID, and I felt so sorry for that. But we have to fight this, and I hope we can live healthily, and then we can save ourselves and save our families. Because if we save ourselves, we can save our families. And then the method teaching learning in our education. During the present pandemic crisis, when the entire globe is sailing amid the storm, technology play a pivotal role, and e-learning has been found to be a significant tool for effectively continuing the teaching learning process during the lockdown. So the e-learning has become one point method that the teachers or educators do for this while this pandemic been going. And the web has become one of the important medium of learning that opens the door for people around the world to access education easily on free or lesser cost. It is from Nur Ul Amin 2013. So the web has been one that opens the door for the education that is more easy, because we can find internet network in everywhere, and then by different online teaching apps like POOV, Zoom, Superstar, G Suite, Cloud Meeting, and so on. Like we using like this is Zoom. It is one of the app that the teachers or educators can use for this learning teaching method in this learning teaching process. And this teaching learning process happened in the world of technology because face-to-face have been prohibited. So we have to fight this pandemic, and the learning process have to be do in this kind of process. And then for the students or in elementary school, usually the teacher use Zoom and then Google Classroom, WhatsApp. But most of the teachers use WhatsApp because it's easily for them and also for the student itself. And then for the advanced or higher level, like colleges or university, they usually use like e-learning and other website, and then they use Zoom and also Google Meeting or at level. So next material is about, and our next discussion about the advantages in learning time. Few we have the formats such as slideshows, audios, videos, PDFs, emails, Word document, and so on. Because the materials that we use when we are when the teaching learning is in the classroom, we use like book, and the teacher rarely using like emails, audios, and then the Word documents in the term of electronic, but they just using like a book. And then the second one is it can be availed at any time. It's more flexible for the students. It means that the teachers or others can give them the material, again give them the material and the task, and the students can do their tasks whenever they want, even that it directly at that time, or they can work it like in the afternoon, in the night, or something, because the teacher just gave them the deadline, like next week you have to give give your task back to me, like that. And the last one is about the student can learn together with their because the to become one. I mean, we can learn that together, and the teaching learning process can happen between the parents and also the children. Then it about the advantages, and how about the advantages of this learning teaching process while this pandemic. Well, the first one is about lack of online teaching skill in educators, because we knew that not all the teachers or educators can do the apps expertly, because maybe few of the teachers like in the villages, they cannot use apps expertly, and they just can use maybe WhatsApp, but they cannot use like Zoom or uh, Google Google Classroom, like that. So it become obstacle for the teaching while this pandemic. And then the next one is it's not available for all the students, which is like I said, in the villages, not all around the world has a internet network. It's like in the small town, in the villages, they cannot have a good internet connection, and not all the students have phone or have a laptop or have anything that they can afford for the teaching learning process. It just maybe a few of them that can have I mean the phone and the laptop itself. And then the last one is lacks of social interaction, because you cannot see your teachers and classmates face to face. Because in our teaching learning process before, we are having a teaching learning process in the class. We can talk face to face. While this pandemic, we have to make it less, which is we cannot see that in face to face, but we just have this conversation like this using these apps. And I think that's what I could this discussion today. And maybe anyone who Okay, maybe anyone want to ask me?
Okay, I want to ask you about, okay, you have explained about the advantage and the disadvantage and also media and how the rules to teach a student while pandemic. Okay, do you think this teaching learning while pandemic effective or not for student? I just asked about that. What do you think about it?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for the question, Risnawati. I cannot say that this is effective, but I also cannot say this is not effective because we have obstacle. In this pandemic era, maybe few of the teachers can do the teaching learning process effective, but maybe few of them are not. uh, in my opinion, this kind of the teaching learning process can be effective if the teachers, the educators can make the lesson or the material be more be an interesting material, because in this kind of like learning teaching materials, I think boring because we just like practice, we can the learning process in the classroom, I mean, and we cannot do that face to face, and I think that's not interesting. And that's why I think the teachers have the point, I mean, have the key, who can make the lesson interesting so it makes the student can understand that material. I think that's the answer. Are you satisfied with the answers?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Or anyone wanna ask more? Now? Okay. And I think that's all that I could discuss today. Thank you very much for your attention and your attendance. And I felt so honored that all of you can attend in this conference. And I am apologize if I had a lot of mistake while talking about this our discussion. And I think that's all. And thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.